Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday, March 15th, 2024, and I'm your leprechaun, Barry Cowan, and host for today's meeting,
Yes, because that's the main reason
president
for
of the
getting
Deerfield Beach
started. So I can
Computer
use it.
Club since
A long time ago.
2005, August 2005. Boy, does time really fly around here. And maybe it's the heat or something, but it's a beautiful day in our neighborhood, and it's going to be what, 90 degrees, I believe.
Wow.
Now, today is actually the Ides of March. So I thought you'd like to know something about it. In Rome, the Ides of March was the day Julius Caesar was assassinated. It was also the day all debts were to be settled on the Roman calendar. But would you believe it was the day that the United States income tax was due for years? Then our Congress changed the income tax date to April 15th because accountants could not finish all the tax returns by the 15th of March anymore. So it's amazing that the Roman day of settling all debts in 44 BC, that's before Cowan, so I was around, and was the same day the United States had for its due date for income tax in the years 1918 to 1954. So in 1954, tax day was changed to April 15th. Did you find that interesting? I sure did.
Absolutely.
Okay. Um, Before I go on, I'd like to make a little disclaimer statement. All opinions expressed by participants here are strictly their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Deerfield Beach Computer Club and its board of directors. All right. That being said, without any further questions, I'm going to move to our special guests, my great friends Chris and Jim Gould. Today we're going to call it the Ides of Geek, and they always give you the best, uh, some of the best presenters we possibly could have. Very good friends, and I'm happy to introduce them today. They really don't need any introduction internationally. But I'm glad to see that you all could make it today. You're in for a very interesting and entertaining presentation. So as the month is, let's march on, Jim and Chris. Show your screen.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. It's great to be here. And thank you for inviting us once again, Barry. It's always good to see our Barry. And so,
Too bad we can't come in person. That's always fun, but thank goodness for Zoom that we can still do this.
isn't it great that we can do this with Zoom? But we like doing this. And Barry asked us to do a hodgepodge today, and that's what we're going to do,
Which
right?
is my favorite. We've been doing this. Well, actually, I've been teaching technology since 1983, but we've been Geeks on Tour since 2004,
Oh, wow,
and
yeah.
we have over 800 tutorial videos. We just have a huge library of tips, and he asked us to give a hodgepodge, and that's what you're gonna get. All right,
Maybe.
go to the next slide. Come
Please.
on.
There we
There
go.
we go. We like to just start right off with a tip. Then we'll back up and tell you a little bit more about us and give you a bunch more tips. But this one is about how your phone should rotate the contents when you rotate the phone. Sometimes it doesn't. You need to know where the setting is. Video 802. This tip is about rotating the screen of your phone. You know, it's supposed to rotate the photo when you rotate the screen. Let me show you what I mean. So here is a beautiful photo. I just love these frangipangies.
Yeah.
They're also called something else. I forget. Anyway, I would love to see it take up more of the screen.
Plumeria.
If plumeria, thank you. If I just rotate the screen, they rotates the photo. Unless the setting isn't set right. So I want to show you that setting. I go into settings. This is on the Samsung. Oh, no, sorry. I don't have to go all the way into settings because this is a quick setting. All you have to do is swipe down from the top and I see it right there. That is the auto rotate. But if yours doesn't show up on the first line, you can swipe down again and now you see 3 more lines and there's even more if you scroll over. There is the auto rotate. If I tap it, it now says portrait, which means it's going to stay in the vertical position. So now if I go back to that photo and I rotate the photo does not rotate. So if that happens to you, you want it to rotate and it doesn't, you just swipe down from the top, tap the little portrait lock icon. This is on a Samsung. And now it is set to auto rotate and the photo will rotate. Sometimes I have found that even when the setting is correct, it doesn't rotate. And all I've done is kick it. I turn the rotate off and then back on again. And that almost always fixes it. Now on an iPhone, very similar. I'll go to that same photo. And when I rotate the phone and it's being held up vertically, the photo rotates unless you're setting. Now, there's on this particular phone that has a round home button at the bottom, I get to the quick settings by swiping up from the bottom, and there is the rotate setting. If I tap on it, it now turns red, so it means it's locked. And then I go to the photo and it will not rotate. So I'm going to turn that back on. I like my phone to rotate most of the time. Sometimes when I'm reading in bed, I don't. So I then turn on the lock. I just want to show you one more thing, that rotating the screen is not just for photos. So let's say I'm reading this emailed newsletter, and on this tiny phone, the newsletter squishes. And if I expand it, then I can't see the left and right. But if I rotate it, now it is much more readable. So that is rotating your phone so that and allowing the contents of the screen to rotate along.
Okay.
So that's one of the more basic tips that we give. But if you don't know it, it can be, I've had people think that their phone was broken and needed to buy a new phone because it wouldn't rotate. So that's just one of our tips. Now, who
That
are
works,
we?
Chris. That works
What?
what works with the iPad too, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. iPad, iPhone, same difference. The only thing is you probably need to swipe down from the upper right to get the control panel.
Depending on your eye.
Yeah.
Depending on your
It's either up from the bottom or down from the upper right to get that control panel.
Well, hey everyone, I'm Jim. What?
I was going to say that a kid who worked for us back in the 80s turned out to be Steve Jobs' right-hand man, and he developed that feature himself.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Claim to fame. Okay.
Cool. Well, we are Geeks On. Can we do this?
Yes.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. We are not the Geek Squad, but we are geeks who teach, and that's the important part.
And another word for geek is a propeller head. Thus
right,
thus the silly hats.
Silly hats. And we are coming to you from sunny South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Oakland Park, actually. And it's so sunny that our studio here is being blasted with the sun coming in. This is an odd time for us to be presenting. So, But we worked in the technology and training support since the early 80s. Chris was 5 or 6. She had the very first computer training center in South Florida, and she ran that from 1983 to 96. I was her main technology geek in the last years.
He was my Novell network administrator back in the day.
And then she sold and we went on the road. We were full-time RVers for 14 years and we still RV. So that's the on tour part. So we are geeks and we travel a lot. And now we do a lot of international travel as well. So we are geeks on tour.
Now I'm going to be going through these slides. I will have time for questions at the end, but I want you to know how you could review these slides if you want to. So if you go to our website at Geeks On, most all our videos, did they hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Most all our videos are under this tutorial. Now, we call this a class presentation. When we've been invited to speak to a group, we call that a class presentation. So all class presentations, and then every time we do this, we list it by date. So you would go to the Ides of March, March 15, Deerfield Beach, click there, and you will see this slide, the same slideshow that we're going through right now. Now, this is public. Anybody can go here right now. In a week or two, I put that behind our membership paywall. So you would need to be a premium member in order to see this going forward. All right. So that is how you can review this on your own. And whenever there's a video, the link to the video should play on those too. Just another reminder of our website, 834 different tutorial videos. Some are free, some are for members only. So for questions, we're on Zoom here, so the chat is a great way to ask questions. If it's something that I feel should be answered right now, I will. We'll stop and answer it right now. Otherwise, I'll wait for a good time to answer it, and we should have time at the end. Barry, remind me, how much time do we have? When do you guys normally end? Barry?
When you stop talking, Chris, I don't know. You can keep going.
That works for her.
Yeah.
So
I would say to be well, right now it's 10:19 a.m. I'd say you could have till 10 after 11, something like that.
okay.
No,
Okay.
we have 10, 15 minutes to round it
Good
out.
to know. And then first, I'd kind of like to know from you guys, how many of you are Android? You can raise hand, or if you're not showing your camera, put it in the chat. But Android, I see one hand. Okay. iPhone, is that everybody else?
Pretty much.
Okay.
How about both?
Yeah, I have both because we teach both. So so Android is as green and Apple is red. And I will teach both since we do have both represented here, but it sounds like iPhone is more represented than Android. Okay.
Steve, do you have a question? He raised his hand. Steve?
I think he raised his hand for the question that Chris asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
There
I
you
did,
go.
but I still love to rotate, and I want to thank you for the tip about getting the background out of pictures. I've used it extensively, and it's very fulfilling. So thanks a lot.
Oh, excellent. That was from the last time we did a hodgepodge here.
That's right.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. So, hodgepodge. I'm going to do 9 tips. Actually 10, but you already had one. We're going to talk about reboot. I'm going to talk about selfies, tips for taking selfies, and the Apple Watch can help. searching in Google Photos. I think you all know I do have a specialty in Google Photos, but I think I only have one tip on it today. Saving one frame from a video, Google Maps, searching your Google Calendar, FaceTime calls with including Android. And then I want to end with, I think, a most fun one is a cloud computing app where I'm going to use AI to create a picture and then crop it to a shape. Okay. Reboot. How many of you remember Control Alt Delete?
Oh, yes.
Control Alt Delete. That was the main thing you had to know about using a computer.
When I was a network administrator for a big construction company, and people would call me on the phone in my office and want me to solve their problem and come down all the way down those stairs, I'd say, reboot first and then call me back. So they got to, my middle name was Reboot.
And believe it or not, it's really just as important with phones. Not as often. I mean, you can go for weeks, literally, without shutting down or rebooting your phone. I do, but eventually something will go wrong. It'll just hang up. It'll freeze. Your phone calls will get garbled or cut out. An app will crash. I had one just this morning. My wireless charging didn't work. I just put my phone down on a wireless charger overnight and it charges. Well, I looked at it this morning and it was not charged. I tried it. I tried it on another wireless charger. I rebooted the phone, then the wireless charging started working. I know people who have, bought new chargers or decided, well, it just doesn't work anymore and plugged it in. Reboot. So, how do you do it? Let's do Apple first. No, actually, I want to do Samsung, Android first. So, on Android, you just hold down on the power button. Now, what's the power button? It's also called, oh, sorry, I need a light here, don't I? Yeah. It's also called the side key because it's on the side. Yeah, here, just seeing an outline is good. This is the volume rocker, volume up, volume down. This one is the power. So if you just hold down on that, I press and hold, you will get 3 choices: power off, restart, and emergency call. When you tap on restart, and I'll have to tap again. Yeah, I guess I will. It turns off and then turns back on all automatically. So that is just like the Alt Control Delete on a computer, on old computers. There. So I didn't have to touch it. It has turned off and it has turned itself back on. It is restarting. And then of course, you will have to put in your unlock code because rebooting does lock it. Okay. On the iPhone, holding down on the power, the side key, brings up Siri. So that's or at least depending on your settings, but that's the default. So holding down the power key doesn't do what you need. What you have to do is hold down the power key and the down volume at the same time. Power key and down volume, hold down, and now you get slide to power off. Notice there is no option to restart. So that's how it goes. With an iPhone, you have to shut it. I have never found any restart instructions that work. So you have to shut it down. Then to bring it back up, you hold down just on the power button. Hold down until the Apple logo shows up, and then it will restart again. So that's reboot. And, sometimes it can be hard to think of because you need it so seldom. But whenever you're really getting frustrated with your phone, something is not working, reboot.
Always.
All right. saving one frame from a video. I mean, have you ever taken a video and only later said, oh, I wish I had a photo, and I didn't take a photo, I just took a video. Video 762.
762.
Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and in this video I want to show you how to capture a still shot from a video using Google Photos. You see, I was in the south of England on a moving train, and I thought I saw a castle in the distance, but there were also trees going by, and I had no confidence I could capture the shot with a snapshot. So I turned my camera onto video, took 30 seconds of video, and then found the one frame where the castle looked good. Let me show you how. I happen to be using my Android Samsung phone here, but it works the same on an iPhone as long as you are using the Google Photos app. So I open Google Photos, I find the video that I want, and it is this one right here, and open it. So you can see there's a castle way in the distance. During the video, I zoom in on it and notice the trees coming in, but I have a pretty good shot right there. So what you do, I'm going to pause the playback. What you do is tap on the Edit button and then notice the Export frame. So all I have to do is find the frame in the video that has the castle without trees in front of it. I think that one looks pretty good, and I will export frame. Now that becomes a still shot in my Google Photos library, and I can tap on View to go straight to it in the library. So this is the still shot. It's framed the castle very well, but I'll bet it could be improved with a couple of taps on editing. So here is the still shot. I tap Edit, and I'll tap Dynamic. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Now, Dynamic is a Google One premium editing feature. So if you don't have that, I would try just the regular Enhance, and then I would try under Adjustments, the Pop. And I think that looks pretty good. And done, and save. So now I have, and allow. Now I have a still shot of that castle that there's no way I could have gotten just by snapping it. That's export a frame from a video using Google Photos. If you took a video and maybe you meant to take a still shot, do not despair. You can get it. You can get a still shot and have the video. So I notice in the comments, Steve talks about a Samsung setting to auto restart every morning. Probably a good idea. And you probably don't ever have the glitches. There still might be a glitch, and knowing how to manually restart is good. Now I want to talk about selfies. I think selfies are fun. Tip number 1. Clean the lens. Now, if you've been following us at all, you've seen this before, but I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to use, it doesn't matter, either Samsung or iPhone, and I am going to take a selfie. And just a simple selfie. Get in closer. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm not sure, you might have been able to see how fuzzy the screen looked. I'm going to take a cloth and clean the lens. Now, what lens am I talking about? I'm not talking about these lenses. That's when you take a regular photo. When you're taking a selfie, it's on the screen right at the top. It's just a little dot. And just the corner of a t-shirt will work fine. I have these little microfiber cloths, and make sure that's clean. Now I'm going to take the same selfie again. Okay, and I will show you the results. So I'm going into Google Photos, and there is the photo with the dirty lens. There is the photo with the clean lens. All I did between that picture and that picture was clean the lens. Very, very important. Okay, especially for selfies. I mean, you should clean this lens too. When you take a regular picture, you should clean this lens, but it doesn't tend to get as dirty as the one that's on the front of your phone. Here's just an image explaining which lens I'm talking about. Front lens, it's just a little dot.
And if in doubt, just put it in selfie mode and rub your cloth across it or your finger across it, and then you'll see exactly where it is.
Yeah. All right. Now, why take selfies? I'm sure some of you are saying, oh, I don't take selfies. I don't like selfies. Well, okay, but I'm not talking about the teenager that is taking glamour shots of themselves. No, no,
Duck
no.
lips.
I say a reason for taking selfies is to have memories with your friends. You're with a group of friends. You want a picture of all of them. You don't want to have to tell one friend to get up and take the picture of the rest of you. A selfie is a way to do that. Or if you're that's me and Joey at the top, the llama. There was nobody around. I'm communing with this llama. I want a picture, a selfie. Or if you're in famous places, you need to prove that you were there, right? So Stonehenge and the Tower Bridge in London, we are going to take a selfie. If you have had to sort through somebody's old pictures, you know that just the scenic pictures are not worth much. It's the pictures with people. And if the only way to do that is a selfie, do it. Now you do need to be a little bit careful. Notice in that top one, my arm is in the picture. So you should be using an outside arm. In this case, I should have given the phone to Jim and let him take the selfie. And in the second picture, we did have somebody else to take the photo. If somebody offers to take the photo for you, take them up on it. It will almost always be better than the selfie
And you
have.
can always crop it.
And why do most people take selfies vertical? Well, I think it's because it's easier to touch the shutter button, to hold it with one hand and touch the shutter button. But I like to get the background. I like to get more than one person. I like to take my selfies horizontal. So I want to show you some other ways to snap the shutter button. Timer. The timer is my number one tip for taking selfies, actually. So let me show you how that works. I'll do it both on the Samsung and on the iPhone. So here, yeah, this is showing the camera and our fan up in the ceiling, but maybe you can notice that there is a timer. That is the little clock right there. So if you tap the little clock, you can choose a 2-second, 5-second, or 10-second. Now I usually choose 2 or 5, but I'm going to choose 10 now because I'm going to keep talking. I tap the 10-second timer. Now I go ahead and tap the shutter button now. Tap it, that starts the timer, and I now have 7 more seconds to position the phone and frame the shot, and then I don't have to tap the shutter button. It did it for me when the timer stopped. When the timer stopped. Okay, so where is that on the iPhone? In the camera. I do not see a clock right away, but notice this little up arrow. If you tap on that, it reveals another line of options down at the bottom. Or You can even just swipe up on the phone and it shows that. I still don't see a clock. Well, there's more. And, all right. When
Start
I've
over.
chosen another one, I don't know how to get, there's no back button on the iPhone.
We
That
hate
really,
iPhones.
yeah, that really bugs me that there's no back button. Okay, so I go into selfie mode, tap the little up arrow. Now I have to move over. There's the clock. And I will set it for 10 seconds. And I didn't clean the lens on this one. So I have to clean the lens before I take this shot. Set it for 10 seconds. Tap the shutter button. I now have started the 10-second timer. 4, 3, 2. Oops, I didn't turn it. Turned off of selfie. One more time. Okay. I am in selfie mode. I tap the clock. I make sure it's set to 10 seconds. I tap the shutter button. I now have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But I did not have to use my other arm to tap the shutter button. So, timer. That's my number one tip for taking selfies is the timer. But there are others. Did you know that the volume buttons on your phone are a camera shutter button? So if you're holding the phone in such a way that your thumb is on either the up or the down volume button, you can press that to take a photo. Now the timer is going, so it won't take it until 10 seconds have. So I guess that's another tip. Turn the timer off after you've used it.
2 tips in 1.
Yeah, turn the timer off after you've used it so that the next time you go to take a picture, doesn't start the timer.
Bonus tip.
But those volume buttons, I mean, try it right now pick up your phone, go into the camera, and just tap a volume button, making sure that the timer is off.
Sometimes the volume button is used to zoom.
Right, so it does depend on your settings, but you can just touch, and this is really great for normal photos, because if you're holding it like a camera, you can just tap the shutter button and the volume button becomes a shutter button and it takes the picture. Anybody still have earbuds like these?
Oh,
They have volume controls on them. Remember? There's an
yep.
up and a down volume. So if this is plugged into your phone, you can use these volume buttons as a remote shutter. So that's pretty cool. Then there's voice commands.
Yeah.
On Samsung, there's no voice commands on iPhone, but there is one little one that I will show you. On Samsung, in the camera, under settings, there is shooting methods. Voice commands, take pictures by saying these words, or show your palm. So if those are on, then you can go into the camera, and if I just show it my palm, it will take a picture. Oh, the timer is still on. Turn the timer off. Show it your palm. All right, it's saying that's not a picture. That's no good. But if you do it this way and show your palm, it will start a 2-second timer.
Or a 3-second in my case.
Or better yet, smile. And it takes a picture.
So how many people's cameras just took pictures?
Because I said smile.
We used to do that in live audiences, and people would snap pictures all the time. It was fun.
Now, on the iPhone and on the Android, if you have the Google Assistant. So what do I mean by the Google Assistant? I mean, and you can have that on the iPhone as well. The Google Assistant is those three bubbles is the Google Assistant. If I go there and I take a selfie, it starts a 3-second timer and takes a picture. So on the iPhone, you don't have the voice commands, but if you have the Google Assistant, you can do that. And two more. Selfie sticks, right? Anybody have a selfie stick? I love this one. Number one, it can get really long. But it can also be a tripod. So you just put your phone in there. And then you have this little remote. It's Bluetooth. So you have to make sure that your phone is connected to the remote via Bluetooth, and then you can take a picture by pressing that button. And this even comes out. So I could set this up as a tripod a ways away, and I can take the picture with the remote button. And you can even get these separate, right?
Yeah, I have one right here.
Yeah. So you can get little Bluetooth remotes. But I say, if you have earbuds, you already have part of a remote. And then the last one is using your Apple Watch. If you have an Apple Watch and an iPhone, watch this. 6 Using an Apple Watch as a remote control for the iPhone camera. So here is my iPhone camera, and notice I don't even have to unlock it. And I want a photo taken with the rear, not a selfie. So I'm going to set it on its little stand here, and I'm going to ask Jim to set it down on the table in a way that it can see the two of us and our computer screens.
Okay, I can do this maybe without hurting anything.
Then you're going to be looking at my Apple Watch.
Okay.
And if I press the button to go to my apps, the app I'm talking about is Camera Remote. And as I said, I did not even have to unlock the phone. And look at that. You can see on my watch what my iPhone's camera is seeing. And then I can tap this button for 3 seconds, which will give us time to look at the camera and smile. And it took a picture. So now give me my phone back.
There you go.
And I can go to my Google Photos and show you the picture it just took. Is that cool or what?
That is way cool.
I just think that's, yeah, you don't need, if you have an Apple phone, an Apple Watch, and an Apple phone. I have.
You have all that stuff, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you do that again?
You want to see that again?
Please.
Did you say? Okay. Well, you can watch the video again anytime, but sure, I'll show you. One thing that the video said that I'm pretty sure was only for that old phone of mine is that you don't need to unlock your phone. Yes, you do. You should. This is an Apple iPhone. You should get into the camera and make sure it's on whichever lens you want. You know, the extra wide angle is usually good for selfies or just for taking a picture. Okay. Now you just hold that over there if you can.
Just hold that.
Yeah. Oh, and show under here. Sorry. Okay, so here's my Apple Watch. I go to my apps. I have mine arranged alphabetically rather than in that swarm, and you find camera remote. And it is showing me what the camera it is showing me what the camera is seeing, what the iPhone is seeing. And when I tap on 3 seconds, it starts a 3-second timer and takes a picture. So I use that for group shots all the time. Now, you can almost always find a way to lean your phone up against something and then frame your shot, then use your watch to snap the shutter. Now, I just want to show you some selfies and tell you how we took them. So, for example, here we are kayaking on the canals of Venice. We have to have a picture of the two of us.
That is not photoshopped.
That is not photoshopped, right. Now, how did I do that? That was a time that I did use the selfie stick because I wanted to easily be able to just press a button even though the camera was far away. So that was taken using a selfie stick.
Notice I was doing all the paddling. She was just taking pictures.
Chris, was that selfie stick Bluetooth activated?
Yes. Well, it's just the little remote that is Bluetooth.
But it is Bluetooth.
It is absolutely Bluetooth, yes.
Okay.
And they all are, I think. There's
all the ones I know of.
Yeah. Now this one, Jim was just holding his phone out, taking a selfie. The reason I show you this one is to say if you want something in the background, put some distance between you and the thing you want. I mean, if we were standing right up by our RV, you wouldn't be able to see the RV in the parking spot. So we got on the other side of the road from the RV, took a selfie so you see us very clearly and you see the whole RV. And this one is just one to say, hey, if you're going to be in some special places, you want pictures of yourself there. The Sydney Opera House.
Is that what that is?
Now here is one. I used the selfie stick as a tripod and sat it up, and then I used the little remote shutter button. And this one I'm using the selfie stick again so that you can see the whole plaza behind us. And now this one was using a timer. So he could hold it out, get it set up, and then at the right time. Another fancy, wonderful place.
Trevi Fountain.
And Stonehenge. And here is the one that we have a group of friends and Jim takes a selfie so that nobody had to get out of the picture. Now I will take a scenic shot also, but there's no way we're going to be there and not get our faces in the shot too. So those are, now if you can ask somebody. So here we have 3 friends. Notice nobody is holding a phone. Waiters are more than happy to take your picture, and it will probably come out better, so do it.
Extra tip for the waiter.
Yeah. And another one where we put distance between ourselves and what's in the background. Another waiter shot. And another, this was just a passerby. You know, we just grabbed somebody walking on the walking deck of a cruise ship.
Promenade.
And said,
in
take
Hawaii.
our picture. So you can get the whole thing. Now this is a special one. If you are, especially a woman over a certain age, do you notice how my skin doesn't look like it probably really does there? What is it? And I did not retouch this. I did not edit it after the fact. So
there's a special setting on some phones to smooth the wrinkles.
Right.
It is really cool.
And on the Samsung, that setting is found underneath those 2 little squares. I don't know what that is called.
Layers.
Layers, but All right.
or filters.
So let me show you that. Camera, and it's that little button right there, and face. And now you have a slider down here for smoothness. I can turn the smoothness all the way off at 0 or all the way up at 8. I kind of like it all the way up. And then this one is to make eyes brighter. I don't bother with that one, but I do like the smoothness. And I think it must be on by default because I don't remember ever going in here.
I think it's on by default on mine.
Yeah. And that is our tips for taking selfies. I think it's fun. Did we have any questions on those?
I don't see any. Do you have
Okay.
any?
Where do you get those sticks from? Are those the ones made by Joby with has a tripod on it and everything?
This one is called Fuge Tech, Fugetek. We do have this exact one on our Amazon store, but you can just go to Amazon and search for
selfie stick.
Selfie stick with remote
tripod.
shutter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same one I've got, and I got mine on Amazon.
That's where everybody gets their stuff, right?
On my iPhone, I can swipe to the right, I believe it is, right after turning it on, and it unlocks it. You can then see the camera stuff, so you can take a picture without unlocking.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. What she's talking about is a shortcut if your phone is locked. Now, if your phone isn't locked, that shortcut isn't there. So she's talking about this one right here. If your phone is on the lock screen, you don't have to unlock it. You can, this is a swipe up. See, but it's tricky. Swipe up on the camera. No, that just unlocked it.
No, on mine, I just swipe to the right once it's on.
Okay. On mine, right. I don't use this very often, obviously. You long press on mine. Yeah, it's not a swipe on my iPhone. This is a 14 Pro. It's a long press, but it only is on the lock screen. Yeah, that's great. On the Samsung though, the shortcut is to double press on the power button. Yes? I really like the Samsung shortcut. I don't think I take a picture any other way now.
Stacy.
If you have instructions for
No, Stacy, this is my 7th call from you guys this morning. Please, please.
Turn off,
You need to mute somebody.
Yeah, I will.
Got it.
If the instructions for the iPhone are different from the iPad, could you tell us what the differences are when you get to things? Because I do a lot with my iPad.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't take pictures with my iPad, so I don't know. So do you think that was it? Was it a swipe on the iPad where it was a long press on my phone?
No, it was on my phone.
Could be. Okay. On the Samsung, there is a shortcut to get to the camera, and that's double press on the side key, on the power button. And that works from anywhere. So I could even be reading my emails or in Facebook or whatever. I want to take a photo. Double press on the power button, the camera pops up just like that. And it works from the lock screen as well. Okay, searching in Google Photos. This is, to me, the best part of Google. If you use Google Photos, then you can store your entire lifetime of photos on Google Photos, and you can easily search for anything. Now, the iCloud Photos and the Samsung Gallery can also search. Google's better. So I open up Google Photos, and I have all of my photos. I can grab this little wheel and go back to 1890s. Now, how did I get a picture from 1890?
Time machine. Come on.
Okay, obviously, I just snapped this picture from an old family album, and then Google Photos lets me change the date to be the date that I think it was taken. But search is this button right here, and I'll show it to you on the computer too. And this is the exact same on the iPhone or on the Android or on the iPad. If you're using Google Photos, you have a search button. Then at the top, it opens up and I can search for Eiffel Tower. And then I just tapped on the go button, you know, the check mark, the okay. And it searches through my 100,000 photos and it finds the Eiffel Tower.
Boy, that's quite an eyeful.
Now, it also finds, maybe we weren't there. If you have a picture of the Eiffel Tower from
Las Vegas,
it'll show that one too. How does it do it? Google knows what the Eiffel Tower looks like. It uses machine learning, artificial intelligence to find your photo of the Eiffel Tower. It can also find other things that aren't actually a thing, like hugs. I say, show me pictures of people hugging, hugs, and I say, go. And here, aha, oh, that's a good one. This was a statue, that's us, we're hugging. I can even say, yeah, and there's Jim and me. So it shows hugs in different formations. I can say mom hugging Odie. Odie was our dog. And there, out of my 100,000 pictures, is a photo of my mom hugging our dog Odie in November of 2000. It can also find types of photos, like I wanted to find some examples of selfies. How did I do that? I went to search, I scroll down until it shows me different categories. Selfies. And there's the selfie we just took, plus all the ones that we've taken over the years. Selfies. So don't hunt for photos. Use search in Google Photos and it will find them. Next tip, on to something completely different. Google Calendar. I use Google Calendar all the time, and I realize there's something I use it for that maybe a lot of people don't know can be done. Video 837.
837. Where'd that go? Oh. Where's 837?
Between 836 and 838.
All right. Don't be a wise guy.
One in every crowd.
All right.
Another thing about navigation, did you know you can navigate from a calendar entry? I don't know about you, but I depend on my Google Calendar to tell me when and where I'm supposed to be places. I would miss appointments all over the place if it weren't for Google Calendar beeping at me and saying, hey, you gotta go. So I jump in the car, and how do I navigate there? First, let me show you how I would add the location to the calendar. Let's say that on the 13th, I have a doctor's appointment. and I just type in Dr. Arison. Now down here in add location, I can also type in Dr. Arison, and Google Maps, Google Calendar searches the Google database and finds, oh, there's a Dr. Ron Arison on East Commercial Boulevard. Yep, that's my doctor. I just put that in and I save. So now when I've jumped in the car and I'm on my phone, I will go to Google Calendar, find that appointment that I just made, and notice that the location is right there. I tap the location and I say start. I am now navigating to my doctor's appointment. Make an appointment, add the location, then you can navigate to the location when you're ready to go.
You're not ready.
Oops. All right. So that's using Google Calendar, and you can use Google Calendar on the computer or the phone. I'm going to go to the computer for this one. Searching Google Calendar. So it drives me nuts when I go to the doctor and they ask me, when was my last mammogram? Shouldn't they have that? You know, I guess I do need to keep medical records better, but I don't have to because Google Calendar does it for me as long as I have made the appointment in Google Calendar. So watch this. I go to Google Calendar on the computer and I want to search. I want to search for when was my last mammogram? M-A, and I don't even have to type it all out, just M-A-M-M-O. And not only does it show me my last one, it shows me every time a mammogram has been scheduled in my calendar. I can see my entire history of mammograms for my lazy doctor to know when to schedule my next one. Or something a little bit more fun, I can say, when was it that we went and saw the Fab Four? That was a fun concert.
That was a fun
And I
concert.
just, when was it? I can search for Fab Four. And there, December 1, 2023, we went to see the Fab Four. Or future. I can say, now, I know that you've scheduled us for a Panama Canal cruise.
Yeah, we're gonna be on tour again.
But I forget, when was that? When is that? So I can just type Panama and enter. And it starts on October 8th and it goes through October 22, our Panama Canal cruise. So that's the tip. Searching in Google Calendar. And maybe another good reason just to use searching for Google Google Calendar.
5 minutes to go, Chris.
Okay. Then this one I'm just going to tell you. A lot of you have iPhones. You probably use FaceTime, and forever you've been told that you cannot FaceTime with somebody on an Android. Yes, you can. At least now you can. You can't call them using FaceTime like you can another iPhone user. But if you create link in FaceTime, you can send them a link in either text or email. When your Android friend clicks that link, they will be on your FaceTime call as soon as you let them in, approve them. Works just like Zoom in that way. You send a link, they click the link, you let them in. All right, this is the finale. Crop to a circle with Google Slides or PowerPoint. So there's two parts to this. And no, I want to do this one live. There's two parts to this. Number one, a free slide maker with Google. It's called Google Slides. And number two, some features in Google Slides. So I always start with Drive. I tell Google Drive, and this is all free. All you need is a Google account. I say New and Slides. Now I want a picture, and I'm going to get rid of these things. I want a picture, so I'm going to insert image. But you know what? Rather than searching for one or finding one of my own, I'm going to create image with Gemini. This is the AI. I click on Create Image with Gemini. Describe your idea. 2 bald eagles watching their eggs in the nest. Create. And it takes a few seconds, but nothing like it would take to find bald eagles and take a photo yourself. There we go. There are 2 bald eagles watching their eggs.
Looks like Shadow and Jackie.
Yeah, that's what gave me the idea here. But now this is just kind of a blah square picture. I want to crop it to either a circle or maybe some other shape. You get rid of this, and then where'd crop go? It's usually right there. There we go. Okay, I had to get rid of everything else, and then crop appears here, but I don't want to just crop it to a smaller square. I want to crop it to a shape. I can choose a circle, and boom, it's cropped to a circle. I can change the size of the circle there, or I can crop to a heart. All right, and crop, and there. Isn't that cute?
Absolutely.
So that's my finale tip, that there is a free slide maker. You can create an image with the free Gemini AI, and you can crop an image to a shape.
Is that an image that you already own, or is that something that's generating?
That's something that was generated. You just type insert image, create image with Gemini.
Okay, because I want to be sure there'd be no copyright issue there, that it might pick up, you know, a Getty image or something.
Nope, nope, it is
Okay.
creating it, although it sure looks like a real photo, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Somebody might claim it. You got to be
Yeah,
careful.
yeah. Copyright is a whole new world with AI now.
And we're not talking about that today.
Nope.
All right. Any other questions this morning? No? We're at time. Thank you for being here. Yeah. It's been great. Give us a thumbs up, do all the stuff. It's been great. No copyright issues. All right. Well, that's it for us. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we're Geeks on Tour.
And thank you for coming, and Erin Gobrock.
Yes, we will have some green beer on Sunday.
We will drink some green beer just for you.
All right. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, please do so. This is what we do with every newsletter. We send out tips.
And you also have a store on Amazon, do you not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Make big bucks with that store.
Yeah, really. On our website, our Amazon store is under the More menu. You won't see it prominent, but if you want to see what's in our Amazon store, go to geeksontour.com, click the More menu, and you'll find our Amazon store under there.
Right. We make our money from our membership website, geeksontour.com. And now we're starting to make a little bit of money from our YouTube videos. So go to our YouTube channel, geeksontour.com. Just go to YouTube and search for Geeks on Tour and subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when we put something new up there. It really does help us. We appreciate it. And join Geeks on Tour.
Okay.
All right. And to review these classes, you have it. It's on our website and it's yours.
Right, like getting money from the bank, I can always count on you.
Well, thanks, Barry. It's been great.
See you next time.
Stay safe and well. Thanks for coming.
We're taking off. Good to see everyone.
Bye-bye now. Okay, folks, we're back to me here. And if I didn't get a chance to welcome you, I'd like to thank Helene Stein and Don Grossman and Steve Costello and Steve Carcieri and Pete Zambito and Lorraine Zoki and Marcia Reindorf and Irving Gershkovich and Dennis Peterson and Elaine Rodell, Bernice Schmier and Dorothy Abram. This was a very interesting and very fulfilling meeting. This will be posted probably later tonight or tomorrow morning on the YouTube channel that we have. So the next class I am scheduling for April the 12th, Friday, April the 12th. So mark that down. We'll let you know by going to the website what the topic and the speaker will be, but I think it's going to be very tough to compete with what we saw today. That being said, if you're going at the St. Patrick's Day on Sunday, be very careful. There'll be a lot of people there that it's going to be pretty rowdy, pretty noisy, and pretty drunky. So you got to be careful on the road or anything else. I'm just going to go over, pick something up to take home. I don't stick and hang around anymore because I just don't.
Uber time.
Right, absolutely. So take care, everybody. Thank you for your support. Remember that we're still accepting donations to send or as a nonprofit organization. You can take it off of your 2024 taxes since we're still a nonprofit organization. So thanks all for your support. I love all of you and we'll miss you. And keep in touch with me. You know how to do that. And I'm going to say goodbye. So everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next month. Stay safe and
Next month
well.
it is, Barry. Thank you.
Oh, 1 minute. We got a hand. Bernice, you have something to say?
No, I did.
Oh, I have Bernice Schmier raise her hand.
I was just waving.
Okay, Bernice.
Okay, thank you much. It was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you for attending. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, Irving, we're leaving the presentation now. So if you have something to say.
I had a question for everyone also.
Okay, real quick because I'm on a time scale here.
Okay, I just want to know if anyone had ideas about which was better, the Apple 9 or 10.
If there's only a short difference in price, you may as well get the better one.
True. Check the features.
Right.
See if it's worth the difference.
Okay. That's it, folks. Stay
Thank you.
well.
Thank you.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye now.